All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. So, when I say the things I say about Trump and other people running psychological operations, uh, the investigation of that is even more so broad than the assassination attempt itself. So, again, it doesn't have to be designed to cause an assassination. And the Republicans, they got to be careful because they're coming up as guilty, but they realize something they did may have caused it. Again, something Trump did may have caused it. Doesn't mean it did. Now, when I say something Trump did may have caused it, doesn't mean that Trump knew he was doing that. Doesn't mean that Trump's not the victim of somebody else. Somebody may be manipulating Trump online. Just realize everything you look at could be tainted to manipulate your mind, maybe directly at you. And again, the same thing about the shooter. So everybody in those psychological operations, everybody's neutral. You just kind of go through it as if they're all being manipulated into something. And they are. I mean, basically, you may manipulate somebody to vote for Trump, but when it hit the head, and it doesn't have to be mental illness, but when it hit the head of that particular attempted assassin shooter, he said, well, I'm going to go do this. And it wasn't what the Psyop maybe wanted them to do. So let me go back to where I was. There's a concerted effort to diss Harris voters. Was it me specifically? Possibly. Was it me specifically and operations to just to the general public? Possibly. Now, when a Republican reads it, he may read it from the others. This is how Psyop works when it's a general Psyop. He may read it, or she may read it, that she has to go oppress Harris voters because they're bad people. When a Harris supporter reads it, they may have desired to shift them into Republican voting because they're going to be destroyed if they don't shift. Because along with it, which I believe was bullshit, they said that Trump's on top again. It's like margin of error or something. Or it may have been intentional along with Trump's threats to say, look, Trump's taking over. Either vote for us or we're all going to go down. Or maybe just infuriate somebody into what did happen. Or worse, of course. I mean, it could be Satan. That's obvious. Satan does these things. But these psychological operators, they get their operations from Satan. No matter how you see them or who they support. It's all satanic. Satanic psychology. SS. Secret Society, SS. Satanic psychology. Oh, I said SP. Shore Patrol. No, I don't just keep going. Like I joke about it. So. But that's how Hashem communicates if you can read it. Because Satan blocks the communications. And sometimes that's the only way Hashem can communicate. Hashem being God. You're not getting accused from God, then who are you getting accused from? Eh? So it doesn't mean that Trump necessarily did something. I mean, I believe Trump's easily manipulated if spies could get in to manipulate him. Could he be working for his campaign? I don't know. None of us knew who Alina Habba was a few years ago. Right, Alina? Sprechen Sie Ruski? Oh, they all do, though. Well, you have to understand. Obviously, Putin would want Trump in, no matter what he says. But when confronted with destroying the United States psychologically or putting Trump in, he'd rather destroy the United States psychologically. So again, who knows what he's doing? Right? And he's got a bunch of other people, and he's got an AI. I know he's got an AI, and it's telling him to do something. And again, with the AI, you may not understand why AI tells you to go in a certain direction. But if you're looking at destroying the United States and it's charting that course, you might have to off Trump. So again, Putin may be trying to off Trump, but he's excess badging at this point. Okay, something with the buses. I'm seeing the school buses, and it's a psychic thing. And again, let's keep healing that. The schools and the school buses and the kids, because it's still coming up. Right? Did I go? I didn't think I went through that. I turned my lights on afterwards. I think. Kind of space it out a little bit because I was reading it. I think he waited for me to pass before he turned his lights on. So where are we? So the shooter. Okay, where I was. So I'm noticing this stuff, and I'm like, yeah. But it got real bad like 24 hours to 48 hours before the attempted assassination. My entire feed switched to that kind of garbage. That Trump's ahead, Harris people are in trouble. Anything political said that. Now it could be that they just dumped a bunch of money into something and it kept coming up because they paid for it. Right? But again, you never know what it's all going to come together as. Because again, he's looking at things. He could have been operating. Somebody probably operated him. It doesn't mean that it's the U.S. It doesn't mean it's Democrats. I mean, I don't. Even if it's a Democrat, I don't see Kamala Harris saying let's off Trump. There's no reason to do that, right, to begin with, and she's not going to do it. Right. That's why they don't like her, because they couldn't talk her into something like that. You can talk Biden into something like that. Come on. Maybe not Trump, but somebody. There's definite psychological operation, direct and indirect, and going through feeds and everything else. I think I may have been manipulated this morning. I'll do a porn search. Do a porn search. And look what comes up. Now, looks like Elon cleaned it up. I mean, I don't know. Maybe just in reference to me, so I don't say anything. But there are a couple of things. I went into a trans porn search, and it took me to gay black males. All roads led to gay black males, which is something I've been hit with before. I mean, for decades. And I know there's operators behind some of it, if not all of it. You can do woman search. I'll probably do that one next or something like that. Well, you start out innocuous, just the word transgender, and a couple links pop up that are porn. Then you click on them. It used to be before us all there was generally. Right. Now, of course, the what's it called? The algorithms are designed to give you what you want. But when it comes to things that people might not want or want in limited form, or it steers them into something else that has really nothing to do with the original one. It's kind of like, where you get a woman and a man getting drunk in a bar, and the man tries to make it look good, like, oh, hi, yeah, like he's trying to actually just find a date. But at a certain point they get so drunk he just kind of escorts her to the car. That's kind of how the algorithm was working, trying to make it look like it was just slowly shifting based upon some legitimate process. Right. Now, and so one of the profiles I probably hadn't seen in, I don't know, maybe even a year or 6 months here, and then so I clicked on it and it did that thing. Now that person could have been operated to put that out there, so that if I ever went back, and again, they could have steered me back also. It doesn't have to be Elon. It doesn't have to be anybody at X, actually. Everything is hackable. I don't care what anybody says. Right. Always start with that truth, that anything and everything is hackable no matter what they tell you. Right. They're not going to tell you it's hacked if they don't want you to know it. So that helps the investigation because something's hacked. Any given moment, something's hacked. I still remember, when was it? Like 2008. I think I was in Naples, maybe a little later, maybe about 2010. I was still in Naples, or I had returned to Naples after leaving, and they were talking about the FBI. FBI says, no, there's nothing going on that person's phone. I'm like, yeah, right. They had it on like Good Morning America or something show. Like this one's like, we're being attacked on our phones. Now it's like everybody's attacked on their phones. Like, don't say anything, it'll get you even worse. Don't say anything. Here we are like 14 years later, So anything's possible. And I think, here's an example of what happened. Again, it could be Satan, but I donated another $29 to the Harris campaign. And within a few hours, Trump said he was going to lock up and destroy anybody that donates to Harris. So again, I am somebody they would do that to. So, spies would do that to. So how did that happen? They simply, somebody working for Trump could have suggested that, and they could actually be working for someone else. Also, I know the Trumps were scumbag in reference to me. I know that 100%. Right. Don Jr. told me. While he was explaining why he was alone with that woman to Guilfoyle. No, he wasn't really actually listening to him. He was talking to me. Inside, of course. So, let me see what I got here. It looks like something's going on with my screen here. And adaptive brightness or something on or up. I don't know. Used to be so simple, right? No, it's adaptive brightness on or off, which is better? I don't know. Well, pretty much Kim and Don Jr. really don't care because they're not. I mean, it's over. Obviously, Trump's not going to win. They don't have to worry about nothing. All the stress will be off soon. But Don Jr. will have that weird show. He looks like Scarface if he ran a podcast. All hyped up on coke. They used to say he was on coke. So again, the idea, and then the people that are part of that whole political operation that really is, on the wrong side of the law and probably doesn't work other than for ulterior motive, right? They're going to lie. They're going to say, make you believe that it's not happening, right? Because this may be what's actually causing Trump to be shot, friendly psychological operation. And it really does come up that way, actually, based upon executive protection and how all that works. Well, because nobody used to do this. I mean, why aren't they not shooting at Harris? Because she doesn't threaten people. And I'm glad she said it. They were like, lock him up, no, go away. You're like MAGA, anti-MAGA or something. No, it's just like the Democrat MAGA. They became the Democratic Party MAGA. And they're like, no, we want to get rid of that. And she's like, well, the courts will handle that. And that's true. Right. I mean, there's reasons as vice president she needs to say that. However, it's just the truth of what should be said. I don't like I told you, I really don't care if I say a lot of stuff, but I really if you I think, what did I say years ago? Don't don't do what I say. Do what I tell you to do. I really don't care if Trump goes to prison, but if he's going to be a jerk, we're going to say stuff. That's the key to what I say. Well, it's actually a requirement in the system. I can't ignore them. The key is if you ignore them, you get taken down. It's building. You have to fix the system. That's what we're looking to do. Again, a reset. Right. Trump may not actually be the mastermind of that. He's going to be a despot. Right. It could be a Democrat too. There could be a Democrat spycraft operative or a foreign, like a Ukrainian guy that hates Trump, that manipulates him to say all that. It's subliminal messaging and stuff like that. You'd be surprised how much that's going on. I see it all the time. Again, Satan does it too. See, I'm so far. My vision is so far that I can see when I know how Satan makes people mentally ill. I know all of it, and that's why they kill me. Well, they use the same methods, but they're manually operating it. Satan's just doing it in power of the air type of thing. Really anti-power of the air, but they said power of the air. It's a wiring. What you will actually a person that develops some sort of mental illness is actually at least metaphysically wired to it. Their life takes on a form. Now, if somebody curses you, that could cause that to happen. I watch it all the time. I watch what they do to me and what the effects are. So everything I tell you is fact. They know they're destroying people's psychology. And then I heal it with Hashem, and then they come again. Get him. I mean, it's sick. A lot of people have been killed by it. A lot of people killed other people because of it. Raped. Kids got abducted, molested, murdered. But Satan also does it. So not being in law enforcement, see, Satan made it messed up. What they did is they actually had a psyop to make all my coworkers hate me for like no reason. I mean, I was their slave. They would sit around and go to the gym, and I would actually do the work. Or they'd go home for the day and they come back when it was time to say goodbye, or something. Like a semi no-show employee. The last couple of years, I mean, maybe even up to 5 years, I was a mess. I mean, because of what they did. Right. Oh, no, it was insane. Started in the military. I didn't realize it. What happened, what I believe happened is my ex-wife went to work at a Korean place. And it was affiliated with cops. I believe somebody in that, see, they're saying no. So what happened is somebody that was part of it, that had orchestrated it all those years, contacted those people. They were trying to get my wife to leave me the whole time because it didn't fit what they wanted. They tried to block my marriage and everything. I was trying to see if this was my regular Amazon driver. I just want to say hi, but can't find her. Is she in the back? I think she might be delivering my package. Hi, how are you? All right, this woman's parent, like, she wouldn't say hi. I'm a healer. Like when I drove by, she like stepped to the right or stepped to the left, so I have to heal her for a while, see if she chills out. And it is allergy season, so that sometimes messes with people's heads. I don't see this woman. I know it was the woman because I saw her from a distance. Oh well. Again, she could have been beaten and raped as a kid and never made it back, right? And just skittish around everyone. Right? There are a lot of reasons that people are the way they are. Most people don't think about it. Most people are selfish. I hate the planet. Like every time I clean my pavement, I hate the planet because I end up killing bugs with water. Like I hate this planet. I can't even clean my sidewalk without killing something. Yeah, so would be a pretty broad investigation. He was triggered. There's no doubt based upon what I saw. Oh, yeah, let me finish. So I was so Saturday, like I'm reading this stuff, and I'm like, and it was just one news article after another, and I took my phone, I threw it across the bed. I don't read this junk. So again, he may have said, I'm going to that golf cart. I mean, way different answer, but there is definitely something. And like I said, it could have been the Trump campaign paid for a bunch of stuff, and it just freaked him out. 100%. Right. Again, it's just reality of psychology and how it all works. Now, of course, he shouldn't grab a rifle and do that, but again, that's why you don't see a lot of people with protection details doing and saying certain things because it doesn't make sense. Is this her or just some dude? Can't tell. Somebody else. Let me heal her. You think it's the other person? She's gone from Maple's wife. I don't think she ever returned. I mean, maybe a short period of time because it's how they're quote blessed. So they didn't give me anything. They made money doing me dirty, sending 14-year-old all these people. I mean, I won that it works. You just got you you cause reckless driving. Mark goes, oh yeah. It used to happen faster years ago, but again, it'll probably happen again because it's a simple correction. Right? The corrections are broken. That's what's going on. So we're all trying to figure out if Larry Ellison's a devil. That's a new one, man. Is Larry Ellison actually Satan incarnate? I think I'm setting them up though. It's fine. Says it wasn't him, but I don't know. See, the operators are corrupt. That's the problem. So you never know who it is. What they want is want us to believe that it's Boeing, that it's DOJ. Right. But again, not to say it's small or individual, but the individual operators are part of cells of corruption. Right. So Larry Ellison may pay, and that's a scam they use. They try to get you to a billionaire or a multimillionaire to finance something, but it's for personal business, and they'll just like I said, when Kamala Harris gets in there, she can't agree to every program they talk about because it sounds good. You need to talk about, well, what are the safeguards? What are the standards? Again, they'll still lie in it, so you need somebody dependable to actually look at what they're doing. Because what will happen is they'll say, well, we're going to only do this to the worst, most prolific pedophiles. And then the real pedophiles are just paying the money and running for Congress. But they'll just, they'll say whoever they want to take out is the worst prolific pedophile they've ever seen. They do that in government also. It's not just like some private entity. PIs. It's not only PIs. Now you see, like you look at the one thing online, and I don't even know if it's staged. It could be staged, some of it, but I don't know. But I know they do manipulate people into something, and they isolate them, and they're not sapper leader trained or anything like that. So again, They have very little resistance training. And you watch the guy like hit somebody that was talking to like a 14-year-old and wanted to have sex. Right. Well, first off, I don't know if that's just like set up. Right. But again, based upon what I detected and what they used against me and used against other people in fictitious investigation, that's the next step. The one thing that they wanted me to know in those last days in government was that no matter what the truth is, what their crony says is going to be the truth. I mean, they did that in the Marshal Service office. You know, a falsehood would be, again, they would call evil good, good evil. You know, true false, false true. So again, as far as extortion, we see those engines moving. I don't trust Vindman. Vindman was part of the people that said, "Yeah, we're deep state and we're here to, you know, wax ass or whatever it is." Again, the Democratic Party is not a safe place to be just because it's not Donald Trump. Right. But again, Kamala Harris is going to be hit with all sorts of things. Make sure she gets her exercise in, walking. There's a woman down there that looks like Kamala Harris walking by the soccer field. Riding around the block again. Just driving around my neighborhood. Now I'm driving around. That guy, he's talking to us. And actually broadcasting. All right, heal the soccer groups. Looks like it's girls' type. And there's boys' soccer. We heal that too. Okay, 16 to 17-year-olds seems to be 15-year-olds. Those looked about 13. So let me look, see if I can find. What station is this? Okay, definitely down to 13 already. Heal the farmstead. Looks like it's 10 years old. Okay, so we say, yeah, it looks like it's 10 to 16. All right, we've limited it, at least. Okay, crossing guard. School employees. And of course, soccer coaches. Coaches. Backwards. Something backwards. What does backwards mean? All right, we have to heal the you can't sky. I was like, what the hell does that mean? Because I knew it was a Q. We have to heal the Secret Service and law enforcement and all that. So we have to spiritually move forward before it's physically going to happen. So we need the Roomba drones. Everybody needs the Roomba drones. So you have to don't will it, just heal it. So it opens up. All right. I just passed Goddard, so that's a good sign. Custom builds. Okay, yeah. So it's opening up. So people will see cues for it. Blue jacket. That's a good sign. I don't seek after signs in the way that Jesus was speaking about. Right. These are signs of healing, how to heal, and all that type of thing. because the Bible speaks about it's a sinful generation, evil generation that seeketh after a sign, but it's kind of a self-serving sign versus a healing sign. And I'm the king, it says. So the king has to see the signs. The Blue Jacket King. There's a lot of fear out. Let's heal that. And that was what she was feeling, probably. It's a metaphysical, but I mean, you have physical things that happen around a metaphysical fear. Numbers unconfused. Vision back on. So it could have been Republican operation that caused the shooter to whack out. Now the question is, had he been there before? And the other question again is, how do you know the golfing thing was going to happen? Again, the answer might be Satan, but again, if Trump's threatening, and he may have carried the rifle, but there could be people out there that are angry at the threats, and that would give him way to attack and be undiscovered, at least until that point. But again, if that's someplace, and I know Trump's getting up in years, but if that's someplace Trump's going to go to regularly, there should be some sort of perimeter alarm system. I don't know if the government and Trump want to split it, but again, Trump had an issue at his golf course, and he might end up losing customers. So he probably would benefit from perimeter security. Say, look, we took care of it. We put in perimeter. We got a patrol of security guys on a golf cart, and they respond to these alarms. That's what we do in a federal prison arena. That's how they do security at federal prisons. When the alarm goes off, somebody responds. And Secret Service would, it would just it would free them up to a certain degree. I mean, they still do what they do. Like it wouldn't have took that moment to find him. As soon as he made intrusion, they'd have probably chased him off, and then the cops would have been probably already there come morning time when Trump goes. And Trump may not have even went to golf if that would have happened. Right. So again, this is why you don't do what you all do in the world, because nothing works. Nothing's working for that to happen. But now it's affecting people like Trump, the rich people. Because rich people knew that it never touched them. That's why Trump does what he does, because it usually never touches them. Again, you can call it Teflon, but it's more than just Trump. Thank you, friend. So you need those Roomba drones or something like it. So again, the drones go up, and then the officer, can be part of the response force or not. You could just still have a couple security guys responding to it, right? Or some local cops. Now, it again freeing up a number of Secret Service that you have to do something else. Right. I don't know what size perimeter is, but they could even have cameras and on that type of thing. Again, we're talking about Florida, West Palm Beach, or something. I mean, probably be less than they paid Alina Habba to put that in. Yeah, we're on Alina Habba today. She's going to be the next one that we say is like Loomer. So Milo's really attacking Loomer. I haven't seen from Milo in so long. I'm trying to see what number fire station this is. It might be pertinent to something. Well, it is pertinent because it says Blue Star. On I don't know what that is, a generator or something outside. Oh, there it is. Number 3. Station number 3. I'm just going to kind of get up in here. Station number 3, Johnson County, Medic. It's just number 3. What's the engine number? I'll have to look it up online. Okay, so I'm just wondering if that means that it's toddlers somehow. Yeah, children's forms that just yeah. So let's protect toddlers. Thank you. All right, we need force multipliers is what the Secret Service needs. It's just like with the Border Patrol, more agents and it's like when are they going to come on? How long it's going to take to train? Who are they going to be? Right? How's it going to work? So again, force multipliers are very important because they can come on rather quickly. And again, I hate to say it, but once Trump's not out there doing that, it should settle down. I don't think Kamala Harris wants to do that, and whoever's going to pick up the Republican Party next won't want to do that. Now, one of the problems is that they're being extorted in the House and the Senate to do what Trump wants. So just because he doesn't win, it doesn't mean that they're going to buck his system. So I'm not sure where that's all going to go. I mean, there are people distancing, but again, if it's Putin and the Russians and they got some junk on a senator or a governor, they're going to limit as how far they stray from that, right? So we need to really tamp down on that. So what might need to happen again? I spoke for years about a clean feed system. You might need to just when you find spies moving that bot system that you dump it into a clean feed and that it can't do anything in the United States. So you block that. Again, it's usually based upon IP, but there might be a more permanent solution some way. It's like you block one number from a harassing spam call from Russia. It says it's like some community near you. Then they just change the number. No, even if it is a Democrat, it's not going to be Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is not going to try to do something to get people to attack Trump, and she shouldn't because that's the wrong direction. Again, national security needs us to put that entire antagonistic Trump era behind us. Again, don't go crazy about misinformation because what you're going to do is you're going to start touching on free speech, and it's a little bit too much. Again, the way forward of it is again a new leadership. Well, don't give into it, but don't ignore it. speak. We should be working together. We really want to work together. And then you have to find common ground on what the Republicans want. Again, you did that on immigration reform, and Trump killed it. So at a certain point, Trump might get arrested for doing that stuff. I mean, it's not free speech. Somebody is forcing, and he does too. If Don Jr. is a big one on that. We'll primary you. You'll primary them if they do what? If they do what their constituents want them to do. That's not legal. That's extortion. I mean, they're allowed to vote their conscience. Well, as it goes, immigration reform will probably take place under Kamala Harris. Yeah, I'm probably first pointed to it. I think I was probably the first one that said, they're important voters. So again, yeah, some of them are doing that. But I think Kamala Harris can get us forward of the nonsense. And again, Joe Biden is a little bit also. You have to understand, no matter what the Democratic Party is doing, no matter what the Republican Party is doing, people are people, and they're not to be punished or to suffer for what the big, operators are doing. Yeah, they told me they kill so many people every day they can give a darn what you say about it, anything, because they're that Teflon. Again, a lot of it's extortion. They extort somebody and then they bring them in and pay them. So the person will never, the person will actually hate anybody that's not part of it at that point. Because again, it's like they trigger like a Stockholm syndrome, and then they bring them in. Because anybody that fucks the oppressor is actually risking that person being exposed as to whatever the extortion is. Majority of people that are anywhere are extorted somehow. Not everybody, but. Right. So again, we need to close up with what I started with. We need to look at the psychology around the shooter. Again, you may not know what the shooter's reading because you weren't subliminized to read it like the shooter was reading it. That's another part of it. Like they tortured me around the term gotcha. So anybody that said gotcha, I had to fight a negative feeling. They still try it every so often. So if they torture the person around a term, a word, a number, it's going to mean something. Like every time Trump came up, they may have tortured the shooter somehow psychologically. Could have been direct energy. Could have been surreptitious drugging. He's obviously somebody that's known. Now, how? I guess we'll find out in time whether the FBI was on radar or not. Doesn't make any sense because he's overseas. And again, it may be the idea that who cares? He's over there, right? But he wasn't even supposed to be involved in stuff like that. But he was a felon. I don't think he didn't have his rights restored. Thank you, friend. But again, somebody could have been hiding him. And that could be, could even be Putin. So that we don't see him. And then he keeps moving around until they trigger him. No, one of the things that kept coming up is how, and it started probably around 10 years ago or a little bit less, is how these shooters weren't seen, like really seen, even if they're on the radar. So the question is a spy entity hiding them until it's too late? And then when it's too late, they go, well, look at all this. Well, we didn't see that. Why didn't you see it? Because the spy entity was hiding it. They hide my stuff from other people. Right. Sometimes they sell it. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.